Hey everybody, Black Ninja 797 here, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys an extremely good gameplay of my second win in Call of Duty Warzone. I'm really digging this, and this is bringing a lot of longevity to the game for me. So if you guys agree and you do end up enjoying this gameplay here, at the end, make sure you end up leaving a like. But anyways, let's begin with basically what I want to talk about. So the first thing is that you will notice the gameplay is not necessarily going to have a live commentary. The reason for this is because the two people that I was playing with was actually two of my friends. As you know, there is Joseph and there is Zach. And the thing is, though, is that Zach, in particular, does not own this game on Xbox, so he was playing on his PlayStation, and the way that we were communicating was through game chat. The reason why is because I don't happen to have it where Discord is preferable to me. I have it where I basically prefer game chat because it's coming out of the same headset. That way I don't have to worry about taking one earbud off to hear them coming out of my computer speakers or having to worry about a double headset hookup. So we decided to go with the game chat. Now, I didn't also have my game chat cable in just because it's wonky, it's inefficient, and I really just wanted to win, and I wasn't necessarily sure if we were going to win the whole entire night anyways. It was mostly about grinding. So the thing is, though, is that yes, I could have ended up using the chat cable. Yes, I could have used Discord, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. The video is still going to be good nonetheless, so I'm just not going to let the little things bother me. But we landed here at the hospital at first. We were originally trying to go to a different location, but the hospital was probably the best, honestly, for the drop, because Joseph wasn't going to miss the drop, and I didn't want to leave him behind. Zach agreed, so we decided to land at the hospital, which it's kind of funny. It's currently looking like the world's going to look like this location here in a second, just because of, you know, obviously, like, recent events. Like, I can't say, you know, the said word because my video will get suppressed, like, massive, like that happened in the last video I mentioned the thing, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyway. But basically, the hospital creeps me out. Anyway, as you can see, we're in a gunfight here, though. Zach is down, so I was telling Joseph that he should lock down his area and get ready to shoot while I revive him, because if we let Zach bleed out, it just wastes a gulag. So I wanted to save our gulags for the end. I believe the gulags cap at 30 anyway, so like when there's 30 people left out of 150, the gulags just don't work anymore, even if you did have them. Which is, to be fair, to be honest, you want people gulagging last second at the very end of the match. So we were saving our gulags as best as we could. We were trying to play it safe. And that's actually why we didn't leave this area right away, because I heard the footsteps of the last guy, and he was upstairs above Zach. So I didn't want him to, like, jump down, shotgun, you know, and put a gun in our face. In fact, that's actually why I was sitting here pinging these areas, because I didn't want him to flank. I was encouraging team shooting, flanking, shooting him in the head, stuff like that. So that's basically what we decided to do here. As you can see, we don't necessarily even have the best guns. We have, like, MP7, Scar. We have not really necessarily the best equipment. We have just like recon drones and maybe dead silence. We don't have like any kill streaks going. We don't have our perks yet. We're just rocking with the basic stuff. But however, though, one of my recommendations to you guys is, since the default guns are kind of limited, you only got like a select few default guns before you get to the legendary, and then you also end up having your just custom classes overall, of course. So what I would recommend to you is the best default guns is going to be the MP7 at number 1, and then I believe the M13 is what's called, at number 2, which is the one assault rifle that looks a lot like the Kilo, but is not as strong as the Kilo. Those are the ones that I would recommend to you. I was trying to find that, but I just got stuck with the Scar. I just don't personally like the Scar just because it only has 20 bullets, and it's just like, I could use the 30. That's why I just honestly prefer the M13, my bad. So you'll see how we're transitioning here into the next part of the gameplay, just because that guy we never actually ended up challenging just because he ran away. But we skipped to the part where there's more action again. Now this is an interesting part. So I had a recon drone, and the reason why I decided to use this here is because I knew we were surrounded by two teams. So as you can see, when we end up deploying my recon drone here, you're going to see in a second that when I go out this way towards this one building, you can see the little dots through the walls, that there is one full squad, and then I'm eventually going to turn around, and then I'm going to follow up on the guy that shot Joseph a second ago before we got to this part of the gameplay. And I thought that we were surrounded by two full squads, but luckily the recon drone you can see through walls, unless I believe you have cold-blooded, and there was only one guy and he was on the roof. So I was just like, oh hey, since it's just one guy, let's challenge the dude behind us. So that's what we decided to end up doing. So I'm just chilling here with the recon drone, just double checking, making sure if it really truly is just this last guy. And I was like, okay guys, we can either challenge the full squad because they're low to us, or we can challenge the one dude that's up on the high ground. What do you want? And I was just like, okay. you know, what do you guys want? And they were just like, high ground. Because if we beat the guy, even though he's solo, we can end up getting his high ground. And I was just like, okay, that's cool, I agree. So we're rushing this guy, and I have my heartbeat sensor, which is also another thing that's very clutch. I recommend you guys run this. Although I might regret saying that, because then a lot of people just use heartbeat sensors. But basically, the heartbeat sensor I encourage you guys to use because it double checks your work. It lets you guys know if there's any secondary people other than just the one guy you saw. But we're flanking this guy, we're looking for this guy. We can't exactly quite find him because as we're going up, he jumps down to challenge another squad, which is perfect for us because then we can shoot all of them in the back. And the cool news also as well is that this building in particular is so long that we can just slide to the very end of it and it's still safe from the gas. Now, the funny thing is with the gas is that we always keep forgetting that it does so much damage, so sometimes we linger and we hug the gas, and now we're finally starting to get to the point where we're just like, okay, we need to stock up on gas masks, we need to not screw around with this gas. That's the one thing I actually do really enjoy about this game, is they really make it where you cannot camp. The gas is actually a threat. I feel like in every other Battle Royale, it's not truly a threat, because you can do things like cheese it, like, very hard. You can do things like meds or campfires if you're playing Fortnite, or you can respawn people like in Apex, or it's just not really that strong in general. And so, as you can see, we're trying to leave here, because there really wasn't too much action going on. And I love how you can take 3 people and put them on a 4-wheeler. We were deciding to run on the 4-wheeler, and we just got out of that gunshot from that stray dude. There was a dude that was hiding back there, and I think it was the guy that I originally called out earlier, but I couldn't find him. Like, you know, he just hides until he gets a chance at third party, I guess. But I decided to make a sharp turn, and then this is where it gets good. This is the final part of the match where basically the last stand takes place. This building is the final circle, like, cluster F that you would say. Basically, everyone is trying to end up getting to the next zone before the final zone. And this building is basically like smack dab center of the middle, and it also provides the best cover because it's 2 stories. It's not been looted from what I can see. It's very, very good. So as we're trying to get in here, we are getting a little bit of an issue going where I'm trying to lock down the staircase so people don't try to rush. I believe it's Zach that got downed. Maybe it was Joseph. I'm not too terribly sure. I'm not looking at the kill feed particularly right now. But basically, the staircase is the only way they can come up, unless they do something weird, like they land on the roof and then they parachute into the window, which would be super, super weird. But yeah, I highly encourage you guys that if you're playing and you're trying to end up holding down an area, look where your exit and entrance points are. And think about it this way. Unless they end up having a ladder, they're probably not going to be able to end up coming from any window. Unless they have that weird thing, like I said, where they can, like, paraglide in. But that's very, very rare and very, very particularly niche. Now, there's this guy right here. I down him, but the thing is, he downs me. Now, I'm not necessarily sure if this is fact, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I've purposely used my self-revive, even though they're right around me, Zach and Joseph. Because when I was playing with Joseph and Zach a previous game ago, we were ending up using self-revives, and what happened was that Zach was down, he had a self-revive, but I revived him before he supposedly used it, because I remember specifically picking him up, and I don't know if he did it at the exact same time, but later on there was another instance where he downed again. I was like, Zach, do you have self-revive? He's like, no, and I was like, what do you mean? I revived you. And apparently, I guess that if you just down with self-revive in general, no matter who picks you up, I guess it just goes away, so you can't cheese it, because if you're, like, let's say in a camping spot, and let's say you have self-revive and you never use it because your teammates keep picking you up, if that just keeps looping, if your teams just always keep picking you up, you basically have always an infinite revive system. And, like, if it gets to the point where, like, oh, your teammates can finally stop reviving you now, but it's been 5, and you still have your self-revive, I feel like that's a little bit ridiculous. But we're getting to the clutch moments of the end game here, so it is us and I believe one other team left. And we're in this building, and I'm saying, guys, the only way, unless they do something stupid, is they're going to come up from that specific door. And I was just like, okay. Now I was realizing that the gas was moving. I was like, oh shit, we gotta go. So I was jumping out, and this is the last fight. So we end up getting down here. There's a giant loot pile. I know they're around here. I shoot this guy in the window. There's another guy that's down here that actually ends up shooting Joseph and then follows up on Zach. We down this guy. Then the second guy shows up, and I shoot him. And I'm like, okay, crap, the zone's closing. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Where's this last guy? And we ended up winning. I always keep forgetting that the way that Warzone works is that the Warzone victory screen does not pop up immediately as soon as you kill the last dude. So I was just like, okay, where's the last guy? Where's the last guy? Where's the last guy? And my last kill was on the last guy as I'm looking at Zach's face right there. And I was just like, oh, I ended up getting the team kill. Like, because it says team wipe if you kill the guy. And I didn't read the text because I was so laser focused. And so I was just like, oh, I was killed the last guy like last second. I didn't realize that until the end. That shows you how laser focused I was. I didn't even notice till the very end. But yeah, we ended up getting the cutscene. We ended up getting Zach his first win, me and just our second win. So this was our first win technically in trios. And now that solos is in the game, I'm going to try to get a solo win for you guys. So if you guys want to see a solo gameplay from me, make sure you end up dropping a like and a comment down below. But anyways, guys, this is today's video. I hope you ended up enjoying. Let me know if you want to see more Warzone, because I'm really digging this and I'm enjoying it more over the multiplayer. But however, though, if you guys want me to play multiplayer for Modern Warfare still, definitely let me know. But anyways, guys, I hope you ended up enjoying. One last time, if you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Thank you for watching, and peace out.